Hello guys, Princessprt here. Welcome to what could effectively be called cake pudding. In this video, as you can see, I have preset the oven to 350? Yeah, 350. So essentially what's going on is, at the time of making the video, I thought I had Oreo cake pie mix. I don't know why I thought I was, but I was double checking because it didn't read right. I was like, well, I'm gonna have to do 2 eggs anyway for this. So, as you can see, I'm going to the fridge because I find it a little odd how it lists the ingredients, because it's like, oh, all you need is some butter and eggs. I grab my favorite carton of butter, which is the... They have different flavors of this specific one. It's called Country. Hold on. Yeah, it's the one with a little part on it. So essentially what we're doing is, but in case you're wondering why I'm dancing here, I very much am listening to music at the same time of this video going on. And there's going to be large moments where there's nothing on screen because I'm grabbing something off camera, like bowls. Took 3, well, hold on. Took 1, 2, 3, yeah, 3 different bowls for this because I need a bowl for the cookie mix, a bowl for the Oreos, and a bowl to make the pudding. I'll explain the pudding and the Oreos later. As you see, I'm surprised when I pulled this out and there's like a packet of white stuff inside my Oreo cookie thing, which I'm finding out now is essentially icing, where they give you a bag of what would be considered the powdered version of their icing, which is great and all. I'll add it to the pudding later. So, I'm reading over this, reading through the instructions. So here I am adding the chocolate as a base. As you know, you add your dry stuff or you add your wet stuff. Sometimes you do it the other way around. Whenever I'm dealing with softened butter, I'd always use the powdered stuff as a base, because that way you can see the butter melt slightly. So what's going on is I'm debating whether to use vegetable oil or just to stick with this specific butter, because I'm finding out I don't have the sticks of butter I need for this. I'll be going back and forth multiple times, and here I am going to consult my good old measurement magnet. You guys need one, seriously. As you guys can see, there is 1/4 cup, which is how much butter we need. And that is 4 tablespoons or 12 teaspoons. Now, I didn't have an exact tablespoon that was just 1 tablespoon, so I'd have to improvise. And thus, since I would be adding extra egg later, that meant I could add some extra chocolate, like Nesquik. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Here I am trying to find a good, decent butter spoon. Here I am finding it, scooping it out. 1 butter, 2 butter, 3 butter, 4 butter. Yeah, if you can't tell, I really do like butter. This specific brand, actually, because it's really good. Alright, so here I am having to put the butter back and grab our neat little eggs. I will say at this time I still was not clearly thinking, because I still thought that was like a cake mix. So I was grabbing an extra egg to make it enriched. And here we have 1 egg. I made a little mess because I may have hit the egg too hard against the oven, so I cleaned it up, threw the paper towel away, and repeated what I did with the other egg. because I thought originally I didn't hit it hard enough, and then I made a mess again. So here it was having to clean it up, and so it wasn't looking quite right. Like, I haven't even stirred it yet, and it wasn't looking at all like it was supposed to. And so here I was grabbing my Nesquik, because, you know, I always like adding Nesquik to my chocolate. I had to look for it because my grandparents swapped where they put their chocolate breakfast mix and where they put their where they put my Nesquik. But as you can see, I have still not realized that it's the Oreo cookie pie mix. So here I have 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons, 3 tablespoons, and decide that's enough chocolate for now. Here I am reading it over again. Being curious why it still reads so weird. Grabbing a spoon to mix it. And like, this doesn't seem quite right. Maybe I should add some milk. Maybe I should add some more. Either way, I'll trust the process right now. Just mix, mix, mix. Mix the stuff. Mix, 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 mix. I'll say this much. I'm working on getting a phone holder to where you guys can see from top down, instead of looking from the side like this, because yeah, the side's good, but I figured you guys would also like a top-down version of it. So anyway, I'm still mixing. This is looking really chunky for some reason. Like, it's not looking the right color or anything. Yeah, this is me slightly panicking, because I was like, okay, something's wrong here. I don't know what it is, but I still gotta trust the process, keep stirring, shake my hands out when they have cramps. And that still does not look right. Let's try again. Let's just maybe try the other way. Maybe, oh, here this is me sort of like making sure I have my pan that I was going to use for this on site. This took me a little bit because the pan that I was going to use was slightly buried. It apparently did not get washed recently, so I would have to wash it out, well, right about now. And after cooking, just to make sure I could store this on it correctly. So here I am pulling it out, making sure I have the top to it, so that way I don't have an issue where I'm going to have to put I'm going to have to put a plastic wrap over it. Alright, here I am. Still not realizing it's the cookie stuff yet. Alright. Stir, 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 stir. It's starting to look decent. It's starting to look sort of like cake batter. Alright. Now, here I am looking over anything, grabbing the aluminum foil, and then immediately noticing something's wrong with the aluminum foil because it's not ripping correctly. Yep, that's right, folks. Somehow it has ripped in a specific way, and it's such a... I don't even understand how this happened. I can still work with this, but I'm just gonna show you folks this. How does it even happen? Like, what? Anyway, so here I am putting on the aluminum foil and pressing it downward in there, because even though it's small, I can probably get the cookie to barely lift to where I can still, like, get it in there and not touch the sides of the pan yet, which is great. And I know it says not to grease the pan or whatever it is with oil, but I'm going to do that anyway just because I don't want to make a mess. Sometimes trust process, sometimes you trust your own, what's the word? sometimes you trust your own experience over the box. Here I am pouring in the mixture, still not realizing it's not cookie dough, or still not realizing it's cake, and it looks kind of odd. Like, okay, maybe this was supposed to make a bunch of like little mini cakes. Maybe this was a cupcake thing. Either way it goes, still not realizing it. Still slowly but surely pouring it out into the pan. And I'm thinking, okay, this is a little bit strange. And it's like, it's not spreading like it's supposed to. Tastes good though. Yeah, it tastes like cookie dough batter, but maybe it's just too much powder. Getting the sides of it, because, you know, yay, I did it, yay. So here I am spreading, using the spoon that I used to pour it out, to spread it around the pan to make sure I have like an even, or as even as it can be. I kind of want it in a square where there's no like little gaps or anything. So here I am spreading it out so no side is lopsided. It's a little difficult, and it spreads the dough a little thin, but it's working. I spread it out, make sure everything's settled, and here I am with it fully spread out the way I like it. It's good. And still trying to figure out why this doesn't look right. Okay. This is about the time that I'm noticing that it says cookie dough and not cake batter. And I'm very glad you guys can't see my face off camera, because, oh boy, I was mentally so upset by it, because like it was going to be such a different thing. But we had to work with it. Here I am putting it into the oven. And so I'm going to show you guys how much time I actually put it in there for. "17 minutes. Now here, while this is baking, we are going to begin our journey on the pudding base. So as you guys can see, I have some vanilla pudding. I did not use that much vanilla pudding. I put one box back. But the idea is we were going to make a cookies and cream pudding base, or not base, top, not topper, filler. We're going to do a filler of it. So here I am. I took the pudding box of the instant pudding that we were making with, and I also had the icing from earlier. Now there's a very big reason why I bring them both up. So here I am pulling down one of the big bowls, because I'm convinced this will take me one of the big bowls. Yep, that's one of our biggest bowls. So here I am, slightly dancing to the music. So the thing with the icing and the pudding is they both require milk. One requires 2 cups of milk, one requires 1.5 cups of milk. So here I am adding the pudding as a starter for drying. And once I toss this, because essentially it's just add milk and wait. You stir, you wait. You stir, you wait. So here I am trying to make the frosting from the cookie pie from the Oreo box fall down, so I can cut it out without losing anything, or losing as little as possible. It looks like a very sus bag now. But anyway, once I get the top cut off of that, then I'm adding it to the pudding. Well, the dried pudding thing. And so I'm off to get my milk. Now, what type of milk do you think I like? Because here's the kicker. I have multiple types. I had heavy cream, I had canned milk. But those of you who know milk, you understand what type this is. This is whole milk. Not 2%. Right there like that. Me doing 303 there was me dancing to a song called Entity 303. So here I am trying to grab the measuring cup, which apparently one broke a while ago, so now we only have one measuring cup. Which sucks, because you need a measuring cup for your dry stuff and a measuring cup for your liquid. Anyway, here I am filling up 2 cups for the pudding. And I will pour it in. And the kicker is that on this cup, 8 ounces is 1 cup. So therefore, 4 ounces is half a cup. So math is mathing for me. So there was a weird thing where it was mixing weirdly, and I had to let the milk and the pudding sit in there after stirring it for a bit. Like it frothed and everything. And I was like, this doesn't seem right. But oh well. I put up the milk, go to grab a spoon to decide the fate of this pudding. And after so much careful consider, by the way, I went through 3 spoons trying to stir this because I was trying to figure out what was going on. Here I am stirring the dry and the liquid. I'm not very satisfied with how it looks already, because, you know, I kind of expected something to look like pudding already, but alas, it happens, and you gotta deal with what you got. So here I am trying to scrape the stuff off the spoon, so that way it doesn't, like, you know, take it with it, because I'm putting this spoon back in the sink. Maybe because I'm thinking, well, maybe I just need to let it sit for a sec. Here I am moving stuff off-site or out of camera, because this stuff very well could get really, really messy. So I'm putting a towel down over here and a new spoon over here so I can stir it. So what I'm doing is I'm taking this old pack of Halloween Oreos. Mind you, all this stuff was stuff I got from the food bank or like alternate like things. I didn't pay for a single one of these. This is one of those ones where I saw the ingredients in my cabinet and decided that I was going to make this, because this is pudding cake. All it needs is a cake or a cookie base, pudding with, it's a mixture of pudding and frosting, topped with Cool Whip. Right. It took me a little bit to figure this one out, because I was like, okay, how do I do this? Because what I need is, I need something to scrape off the icing from the Oreos when it wouldn't, like, you know, properly fall off, and the Oreo sometimes clung too much to the icing. So the reason why I'm separating the two is because I plan to turn the Oreo cookies themselves into crushed Oreos. And so, yeah. So the plan was to basically just take this and because there's 3 rows of cookies, and every time like I went through a row, I would stir the mixture a little bit just to make sure the icing and all that was very much mixing well. Now, one of the things I will say is that I didn't expect any of this to, like, you know, what's the word for this? I didn't expect it to turn out the way it did, but anyway, here I am starting again with second row. And so this is just a repeat process where it goes, I add some and then I remove some. And so this is how it goes back and forth. The reason why I'm taking so many breaks is because, like, I'm making sure that what I'm saying is what happened. Because, as you guys can see, after this third one, I essentially will stir, put the thing there because I have to pull out the cookie dough. Here, I'm going to be showing you guys the cookies, the pudding with the icing in it, and the cake itself. Or aka the cookie base. Stuff in the background was desserts that were made that I cannot eat myself. Here I am sticking a toothpick into it to make sure it's done. And so I set you guys back down there because I'm going to stir a little bit more. Because what I'll be doing is I will be crushing the Oreos in the best way possible, in my opinion, in order to turn it into a cookies and cream pudding. Now I'm removing the cake from the aluminum pan because I gotta wash this again since I'm also using it for the storage of this dessert. So I gotta let both of those things cool at the same time, make sure the oven's off, and me double checking on my dad to make sure he's okay, because you gotta double check on the people you live with. You never know when anything bad could happen. But there's also another reason why, because as you guys can see, here I am coming back with some frosting. And the frosting in question here is some frosting from the Wednesday movie celebration thing where they had a selling of a different products under the Wednesday Addams Family line. So here I had some whipped cream, or aka whipped icing cream. And the reason why I'm mixing it into the pudding is so that way the pudding's not just liquid. If I mix it correctly, it's going to solidify the pudding to where it's more of a jello pudding, where it actually wiggles, instead of just goes flump. So here I am pulling out as much as I can from this canister, because this is very high and crucial because I need it to soak into the cake to keep the cake moist, but also like not try to not try to stupefy the cake, because this is where we do the final mixing of this before we add the cookies, because once we add all this together, we essentially have a frosting and pudding mixture. As you guys can see, I mixed it pretty good. And here I am taking the bowl of Oreos. And what I'm doing with this is I'm experimenting with different methods. Eventually I decided on doing a hand crush method and just crushing it and all that, just to be able to get it all done. And so, yeah. So here I am mixing it all together, double checking to see if the cookie cake is even like remotely cooled. And once it has, I wash out the pan and then flip it upside down to where it is in the frying pan. And then I'll show you guys the pudding mixture and the cake. And here I am pouring it out and spreading it over. And this is where I pull out Cool Whip that I had in the fridge. This is where I spread the Cool Whip over it. And once that's spread all evenly to where it covers everything, I will add chocolate syrup to it, the spider web version like the Wednesday thing, and I will take a toothpick to it, which is where I'll swirl all of it to where it looks marbleized. And that is our cake.